welcome everyone to this week's edition of Wednesday's Winning Woman. I'm very excited to have this marketing mind with us and a good friend from my early days in the channel. She's currently leading the partner marketing for Americas and ANZ over at Mitel. She previously was a VP of Market Development for Pax8, and where I met her as the Director of Marketing for Intelisys. All you guys know Intelisys, a major TSB in our space. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Jess Maria to the show. Hey Jess, how you doing?
Hey Brandon, thanks so much for inviting me on. This is exciting.
Thanks for being here. And it's funny, when I said your name, I haven't said your last name out loud in a while, but I remember when I first went there, I thought it was your middle name. Like I remember when I first went to Intelisys, I was like, oh, that's my name, Jessica Maria. And then I was like, then I heard Andrew when he introduced you to me, and I was like, why did he say her name like that? I was like, what's wrong with him?
I have to say, when I was off camera waiting for you to do that introduction, I was like, uh-oh, what's my last name going to come out as? You did it perfectly.
Yeah, well, I've had some practice now, so.
But truly, I just yesterday got 2 emails internally from people who said, hi, Maria. So I get that all the time.
All right, well, we'll work on them. Apparently, there's still work to be done then.
Absolutely.
All right, so I talked a little bit about where we started, kind of with Intelisys, but tell me what's your role and what you're doing now?
Yeah, so I am at Mitel. I run our partner marketing, which is field marketing essentially for the Americas region, so Canada, USA, LATAM, and earlier in, I guess it's been a year now, early 2022, we rolled ANZ region into that as well. So big region, a really great team, and we are out there at the partner face, supporting our partners to grow their businesses and drive demand and build their business, and along with Mitel's business.
Yeah. We like that. I mean, we know it's kind of funny. You've been at this for a while, but there are a lot of people in our industry that don't understand the importance of helping partners grasp marketing. And the value of that out in this space. Even the importance of brand and how it all goes together, even whether you're doing events or just meeting one-on-one with a customer, the flow of things. I think
think about it. You don't go into business to be an agent or a VAR or an MSP because you're in marketing. They
exactly.
get into business because they're great at tech and support, and the marketing piece is an afterthought add-on later that is probably not even what they want to do. So you're right. It's an ongoing challenge. Yeah. But it's a great spot to be.
Yeah, I agree with that. So speaking of that, I mean, you've done a lot, you've accomplished a lot, and this can be business or personal, but give me one thing out of your past that you're proud of, that that if nobody was looking, you'd be like, yeah, just did that.
All right, that's a great question. I am going to actually give you one that's part business and part personal.
Okay.
A little bit weird. I just was thinking about this morning, actually. So the biggest accomplishment I'm proud of right now in my life is finding balance. And I don't mean the work-life balance BS lie that gets tossed around all the time and that women are constantly, I feel like, trying to uphold. But that all in, and I know you're going to know what I'm talking about, that all in work to the detriment of everything else around you, including your health and the well-being of yourself and your family. That for me, I've really made a thing of the past. And I think it's part maturity, insight, confidence, acceptance. But my 40s so far have been full of revelations and development. And I've adopted a mindfulness meditation practice that has been legit changing. And I finally feel like I'm in a place where I have a balance that makes sense, where I can spend my work time at work really invested in it and feeling fulfilled by it. And then when I check out, and it's amazing.
That's amazing. You know what, you said something that I mean, for people who are in our space, they're gonna get how how hard that is to accomplish. Others outside, they might not understand because they might not know the pace that this business runs. But it's amazing you're able to do that. But you mentioned something that I wanted to touch on a little bit more, because you said that you're able to do that, and a part of the reason is confidence. And I think that's important, because I think early on, you know, whether we're just young in life or young in business, when we start out, we don't always have the confidence to say no sometimes, you know, or to set boundaries.
Yep.
You know, so I think it's an important thing to note that as we grow, as you get confidence, and as you said, as we mature, then we get more comfortable setting boundaries for ourselves and for our life.
And I think that's why it feels like an accomplishment, because exactly that. I couldn't have done this earlier in my career, and it's taken a lot of years and a lot of learnings to get to this point, and I still have a ways to go. Trust me, I'm not like, but I feel like I finally unlocked it. And I remember being at a channel conference in New York with several, I think with the cable co's probably at some stage. And there was a woman on stage talking about how she had climbed all of the world's tallest peaks, and she was in a high profile tech role. And I thought, huh? How?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. When did you have the time to do
right?
that?
That is very time intensive. And meanwhile, I'd left my 2 young kids back home with the nanny and the husband and the grandparents, and trying to navigate all that and working my butt off, and couldn't even comprehend it. And now I'm like, oh, I'm starting to see, like, you got to build these little steps, but it's possible.
Well, that's very good.
It's not possible for me to climb all those peaks. I should.
Well, listen, you climb the ones you can. Okay, you've acquired balance in life, and that's equally, if not more important. So I like that. But with that balance, I'm sure you still have some goals, still some things that
absolutely
you want to accomplish. So share with us one of your goals for 2023. What's one of the things you're looking forward to accomplishing?
Can I give you 2?
Of course.
All right.
Absolutely.
So one on the work front, it's been really exciting over the last, I don't know, 2-3 months. We are reintroducing some elements of a demand gen program that we haven't seen at Mitel for a while. And so getting that kind of hands dirty on lead and opportunity generation, and getting net new business for our partners, and how do we make that work, and how do we start to build that whole program. So we're really deep in that right now, and I am super excited, because at the end of this year, I want to be able to hit some pretty significant targets in that pipeline that we're generating. So that's really
awesome.
Fun. From a personal standpoint, and this goes back to the balance piece, I am a writer. I started my career and got out of college wanting to be a journalist, and I went into the publishing industry first, and my path ended up where I am now. But that's part of this balance, is I want to get back into publishing my writing. I want to spend more time with my writing. So that's
wow,
2023 goal.
Wow. All right. So, I have to ask, what kind of writing are you doing? You do fictional stuff? Or you doing sci-fi? You doing
no.
what do you write about?
No sci-fi. So,
I don't know.
Over the years, fiction, I've done children's stories, nonfiction. I ran a magazine called The Channel in New Zealand. That's how I actually got into the channel and figured out what it was as an editor. But right now I'm working on a nonfiction book concept and a fiction book concept. So I've got a
very good. Well, I look forward to reading those. I look forward to seeing that get done. That is awesome. That's awesome. See, like, you really can balance it, I guess. I mean, so that's what we're learning from this. So
talk to me in December. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll do a follow-up and hopefully have, be well along the way on that. So the last one, I mean, this is gonna be interesting, because you've said you've learned balance. It's not something I don't think it's anything any of us had, early on. But now we get to look back, right? Spin the crystal ball a little bit and go back. And what's a piece of advice? What's something you would tell, young Jess that you think would help her starting out?
I think, and I don't know if young Jess would have listened to this or believed.
Yeah, we don't know that part. We don't know that about ourselves.
But I think the biggest thing for me, honestly, is ask a lot of questions. Oftentimes we stop ourselves asking questions. I see this especially with young women. We don't want to look stupid. We don't want to be the person in the room asking the dumb question. And we'll even tell ourselves things like, well, if this was a good question, someone had asked it already, right? I don't know if you've heard that. I have many, many times. And so from what I've seen, actually a lot of people in the room are thinking that, and people are so relieved when someone actually just asks the damn question. So ask early, ask often. You don't have to drown alone. And one thing too, I think that's really important is the asking piece isn't necessarily about asking other people, or certainly not restricted to asking other people. Ask yourself, what do I want? What fulfills me? When you get to the end of a really good day, one of those ones where you've got that intense fatigue that comes from doing a job really, really well, or a great event you put on, or, you know, we've done those together. What contributed in what you were doing that day to that feeling, right? And how do you capture more of that? What brings you that sense of fulfillment? What are the non-negotiables for your career and your work environment that are important to you? Every company, every role, you and I know this very well, they're going to have challenges, right? There's no place that's perfect. So if you have 3 things or 5 things in place that you could rely on, then you could overlook the things that are challenging, right? And still feel a lot of joy in the situation. I think early in my career, actually early mid through my career, I kind of said yes to everything that came up because I'm a high achiever and I want to say yes. And I want to, you know,
exactly. You want to
my
be
work and all of that. But there's value in really asking, does this matter to me? Is this what I want? And asking questions in every environment. So I wish I did more of that early on.
That's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. And I think it goes to one of the things you also said about a balance, right? Sometimes we don't ask questions early on because we don't have the confidence. And we don't want people to know we don't know stuff. Exactly. You know what I mean? When you're younger and you're starting out, you're very susceptible to the feeling of being judged, you know, and worried about what other people think and what are they going to say. And, oh my God, I asked that question. They know I don't know that answer and they're going to think I'm dumb, or they're not going to want me to do this. Or not going to want me to do that. I mean, our younger selves are very, very great overthinkers, you know.
Another thing meditation's good for.
Yes, to calm all that down. So I think that's good. Honestly, if that's a really good one. If younger people watching this can grasp that and just get a little bit more confident, and, you know, don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to understand, and don't be afraid to you know, shy away and say no when it doesn't fit those parameters of does this matter? You know, it doesn't matter to you. This has been awesome. It's good seeing you. It's good talking to you. We got some good information here. People got to know you a little better, and hopefully there's some people out there that can see themselves and put into practice some of the things you talked about. So thank you for joining us. I appreciate that. Thank you for being this week's winning woman. Yay! And we'd like you to acknowledge Jess. If you're not already connected to her on LinkedIn, please go and do that right now. Be a part of her following and her network. Support her when you see posts, when she's doing things. Comment on them, post on them. Let's build up that interaction. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next week when we highlight another Wednesday's winning woman.
All right. Thanks, Brandon.